Hey, here's a fun fact that I bet you didn't know. 77% of consumers make purchases purely because they're drawn to a brand name. That's right. A simple name can make or break your business. And let me ask, have you ever wondered why, well, some businesses they explode with success while others, sometimes with the same product or the same service, just kind of seem to just fade into obscurity? Well, a big part of the reason for that is the name, right? Take Apple. It's simple, it's memorable, it evokes curiosity. Now compare that to something generic like Tech Solutions Inc., right? Which one would you choose? Today, we're answering one of the most important questions you'll face as an entrepreneur or aspiring entrepreneur. What should I name my business? Now, by the end of this video, you'll not only know how to choose a perfect name, but you'll also understand why it's so crucial to your brand and its long-term success. Now, let's talk about names. Naming your business might seem like just a small step, but it's one of the most important decisions that you'll make. Your business name is the first thing potential customers see, hear, and remember about your business. It's basically the cornerstone of your identity. It's how people talk about you. It's how they find you. It's how they connect with you. It's also how they connect with you emotionally. But here's the challenge. Coming up with the perfect name can feel overwhelming, right? It's like naming a child. You want it to be meaningful. You want it to be memorable. You want it to be something that you're going to love years down the line. That said, let's start with the problem, because naming a business sounds like it's easy until you actually sit down to do it. And here are four of the most common challenges that entrepreneurs face. Number one is creativity blocks, right? You're staring at a blank page. You're hoping for inspiration to strike, but nothing comes, right? It's frustrating and it can feel like a roadblock to moving forward. Number two is the fear of the wrong choice, right? What happens if you pick the wrong name? What happens if it doesn't resonate with customers, or worse yet, you pick a name that limits your business growth? Number three is going to be your domain and trademark issues, right? You come up with the perfect name only to find out the .com is taken or it's already trademarked. And then number four is going to be overthinking, right? You spend weeks debating every syllable only to end up with a name that doesn't feel right. If any of this sounds familiar, well, you're not alone. These are challenges that every entrepreneur faces. But here's the good news. The good news is there is a method to this madness, and I'm here to guide you through it. In fact, I'm going to share with you some strategies, ones I've used myself, ones I use with my clients, and these are ones we use to find the perfect name. So go ahead and grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, jot these down, because these will save you both time and headaches. First, start with your brand values, right? When it comes to naming your business, the first step is understanding your brand values. Ask yourself, what does my business stand for? Are you aiming to maybe position your business as a modern and innovative, maybe a forward-thinking type of brand? Or are you more rooted in maybe tradition, timelessness, and reliability? Right? These are very different. So the name that you choose should reflect your brand's core personality and create an immediate connection to your target audience. Now, think about how some of these iconic brands have really leveraged their value in their names. Take Evernote, for example, right? It's a combination of forever and note, which instantly communicates its purpose, right? Helping people capture and organize their thoughts in a way that lasts. It's concise, it's meaningful, it's perfectly aligned with the brand's mission of creating tools for long-term productivity. You see, your business name should really kind of evoke that essence of your values and give potential customers what they can expect from you. For instance, if your brand values are rooted in maybe sustainability or eco-friendliness, right? There's names like Green Path or Eco Haven. Those might resonate. On the other hand, if innovation and cutting-edge technology are at the heart of your business, you probably want a different type of name. Maybe one that feels more sleek, more modern, something like Innovatech or Luminary AI, right? The point is, taking the time to really align your name with your brand's values, they not only create consistency, but it also helps your audience build an emotional connection with your business. Remember, your name is often the first impression that customers have of your brand, right? It should constantly and instantly communicate what your brand is about and really set the tone for how people will perceive you. Now, when your name reflects your values, it serves as a guiding light for your brand, and it helps establish trust and credibility with your audience from day one. Next, know your audience. Understand who they are. Choosing the perfect name for your business isn't just about what you like. It's about what's going to resonate with your customers, right? Your audience is at the heart of your business, and your name should speak directly to them. So start considering their preferences, right? Their lifestyles, their values. Who are they? What kind of tone or vibe is going to catch their attention? A name that feels relatable to your target audience can make all the difference in the world. It'll capture their interest. It'll build a connection. For example, if your audience is maybe young and trendy and plugged into the latest cultural movements, a playful name like Glossier, right? You've heard of that, might be the way to go, right? It perfectly aligns with the brand's kind of sleek, fashion-forward aesthetic. On the other hand, maybe your target audience is made up of professionals, of decision makers. Name that conveys authority, maybe something like LinkedIn, right, is far more effective. You can feel the difference when you say them, right? It's clear, it directs, it protects, I would say, kind of a sense of trustworthiness with its audience. And the goal is to choose a name that feels like it belongs in your customer's world. Now, a fitness brand, right, targeting maybe busy urban millennials, might lean towards something more energetic and aspirational. Think something like, Urban Motion. While a luxury goods brand may be catering to affluent buyers, that could go for something a little more elegant, something more refined, maybe heritage living. You get the idea, right? You can probably come up with several of these. But by understanding your audience deeply, you ensure that your name isn't just a label, right? It becomes kind of part of the story. A well-chosen name tends to spark recognition, it resonates emotionally, and it makes customers feel like your business was created just for them. Right. So this kind of alignment, it tends to build loyalty and it makes your brand memorable in a crowded marketplace. Remember, your name that's that bridge that really connects your business to your audience, right? So you want to make sure that they're excited to cross that bridge. Third, take some time to brainstorm freely, because when it comes to naming your business, one of the most powerful tools at your disposal is unfiltered creativity. Set aside your inner critic. Grab a notebook, maybe open up a document if that's your thing, set a timer for 10 minutes, and in that short burst of time, just focus solely on one goal, writing down every name that pops into your mind, no matter how silly. Maybe it's unconventional, maybe it's incomplete, that's fine. But this exercise is about volume, not perfection. The point is to let your imagination flow without overthinking your self-editing. And you might be thinking, Gary, why is this important? Well, because some of the best ideas often emerge when you give yourself the freedom to explore without boundaries. Now, when you shut off that part of your brain that's worried about whether a name is good enough, let's say, you're more likely to stumble upon something that's unique, that's creative, that's memorable. I mean, even those names that kind of feel random or outlandish, those can speak and I would say really spark some of the direct combinations that you wouldn't have considered otherwise. Think of Amazon, right? Where did that come from? Think of it kind of like planting seeds, right? Some will grow into fully formed ideas and others will lead to surprising paths. And while you're brainstorming, I also recommend experimenting with word associations, right? Blending unrelated concepts or maybe pulling inspiration from unexpected places. For example, let's say that you're starting a wellness brand. Right, you might balance some words like maybe harmony, vitality, but don't stop there. Right, let your mind kind of wander. Right, get some images, some feelings, some metaphors that might tie into those roots, journey, beacon. Right, you might end up with names like Vital Roots, Journey Well, or Beacon Living, just to give you some really quick ones. But you can do this yourself. Right, and don't judge those prematurely. Right, and then once the timer goes off, take a step back. Right, kind of revisit your list, take a look at it, and some of those are going to stand out to you as promising candidates. Others might need some refinements, or maybe they just serve as stepping stones to even better ideas. Remember, this process is about discovery, and by brainstorming freely, you create a space for creativity to thrive, and you increase your chances of finding a name that truly captures the essence of your business. Right, so give yourself the space and the permission to do that. Another strategy worth exploring is the use of name generators. In fact, if you're feeling stuck in the naming process, don't hesitate to lean on technology for I would say a creative boost, right? There's name generators like Namelix, design.com. These are powerful tools that can spark ideas and really uncover options that you might have never considered on your own. In fact, these tools work by combining keywords with creative algorithms to generate hundreds of potential names, tons of combinations just in seconds. Now, they're particularly helpful when you need, I would say, fresh inspiration, or maybe you want to explore some naming trends in your industry. For example, let's say that you're starting an online store It's going to be eco-friendly pet supplies. So by inputting some words like maybe eco, pets, green into a name generator, you might get results like eco pause, right? Green trails or nature's combinations or nature's companions or who knows? There's a number of these that you can come up with, right? And even if none of these are a perfect fit, they can help you identify some themes or some word combinations that resonate well with your brand. And then from there, you can build on those suggestions to craft a name that feels more authentic and hopefully very unique. Now, that said, one of the biggest advantages of name generators is their ability to break through creative blocks. In other words, when you're brainstorming solo, it's easy to get stuck in that loop of familiar ideas, right? A name generator kind of acts like a brainstorming partner that can introduce new perspectives and combinations that you might not have thought of otherwise. And it's especially useful if you're targeting a specific vibe, such as it may be modern, playful, sophisticated, right? Or anything in between. Because most name generators, they allow you to filter results based on tone or style, which can be extremely helpful. And while those generators, they can't make the final decision for your business, but they can be an invaluable resource and really expand your horizons and really help kickstart your creative process. So think of them as more of a jumping off point rather than the end of the road. Pair their suggestions with your knowledge and your audience and your brand values, and you'll be well on your way to discovering names that really stand out in the crowded marketplace. Now, another point worth mentioning is to keep it simple, right? Keep it simple, keep it memorable, because when it comes to naming your business, simplicity, that's going to be your best friend. Now, a great business name should be easy to spell, easy to pronounce, and most importantly, easy to remember, right? Complicated or overly clever names, those might seem creative in a moment, but they often end up just being confusing at the end. Think about it. If your audience can't quickly recall your name or share your business name with others, you're missing out on valuable word of mouth marketing and repeat visits. I mean, some of the most successful brands in the world, right? You can think of several, but some come to mind: Nike, Apple, Zoom, right? These are clean. They're very short. They're instantly recognizable. They don't require explanation or a dictionary to understand, which is crucial in today's, I would say, very fast-paced, information overloaded world. And when a potential customer sees or hears your business name, it should stick in their minds with minimal effort, right? Making it easy for them to recommend your brand, your company later. However, simplicity, it doesn't mean boring, right? Simplicity just means clarity. Now, a name like Freshly immediately communicates freshness and health, while Slack conveys simplicity and ease in workplace communication, right? Both are memorable because they align perfectly with the brand's values, positioning them to, I would say, leave a strong impression without requiring too much mental effort. Now, you don't have to think about these. Now, if you're unsure and you want to kind of test the simplicity of your name, try saying it out loud or spelling it for someone who's unfamiliar with your business. If they're not able to easily repeat it or write it down, it might be too complex. Also, think about how your name will look on a sign or on a website or on a social media handle. Is it clean and adaptable? Or is it cluttered and difficult to decipher? Keeping your name simple and memorable, that ensures that it not only resonates with your audience, but it'll also stand the test of time. Remember that a name that's easy to connect with is a name that people will want to come back to. And before you get, let's say, too far over your skis, take a few minutes first and check for availability. And I recommend doing this before you get too attached to a specific name, because it's crucial to, I would say, ensure it's actually available for use. In fact, one of the most common pitfalls that entrepreneurs face is in failing to check and make sure someone else doesn't already have that name. Maybe the domain's gone, maybe it's trademarked, maybe there's a social media handle that's already taken. So skipping this step can lead to legal problems and also a lot of headaches. So I recommend you just avoid that confusion altogether. Now, where I normally start is by checking if the domain name is available. Right? A strong online presence is essential for modern businesses, and your website's URL, that's a key part of that. So you can go to, GoDaddy.com, you can go to Namecheap, you can go to, Google Domains. You can search for the availability. Ideally, you want to have a .com. That's the most widely recognized and trusted extension, but alternatives like .io or .co can work as well, especially if your target audience is a little more tech savvy. But be cautious though. If your desired domain name isn't available, it could signal that the name is already in use, right? Even if you haven't encountered the business yet. Next, go ahead and search USPTO. Stands for the United States Patent and Trademark Office. And you want to see if that name is already trademarked, right? Trademarks protect businesses from, brand confusion, from using a name that's already registered. That can result in legal challenges or even cease and desist orders. You don't want to deal with any of that. So I recommend you do just a quick search on uspto.gov. That can save you a lot of these costly mistakes. And if your name isn't already trademarked, you might want to consider registering it yourself to really secure that brand and prevent others from using it in the future. And then finally, don't forget to check the social media platforms, right? Consistency across all these platforms builds trust, and it also makes it easier for customers to find you. Go ahead and search for your business name. Go on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn and TikTok. See if the handle that you want is available. If it's not, you may need to tweak the name slightly or use some creative formatting to maintain consistency. Because here's the thing, by taking the time to confirm the availability first, you not only protect your brand, but you also set yourself up for a much smoother launch and long-term growth. Now that we've covered the details, here's just a quick 5-point checklist for your business name. Now, number 1, does it reflect your brand's value? Number 2, is it easy to spell and pronounce? Number 3, does it stand out in your industry? Number 4, is the domain available? And number 5, can you see yourself wanting to use this name 5 years from now? You want to have yes answers to each of those questions. And I recommend testing your brand name also with real people, right? Create a short list of names and then share them with your target audience, right? This could be through a quick survey, maybe a social media poll, or even just asking your friends and family. But pay attention to their reactions, right? Which names do they remember? Which ones spark interest or excitement? One of my favorite methods is to create, some mock logos, some taglines for each of the names that you have, right? Sometimes it comes down to when you see that thing in life, right? What's it look like? What's that elicit? And here's a bonus tip for you. Don't let perfectionism hold you back. A good name is better than waiting endlessly to try to find the perfect one. Your brand will evolve over time, and so will the meaning of your name with customers, right? Especially as they start to connect with you. So here's your next step. Take 30 minutes today. Go ahead and brainstorm names using the strategies we discussed. Narrow it down to your top 2 or 3, test them with your audience, and then make your choice with confidence, right? Just go and do it, right? Don't overthink it. And if you want to learn more about how to launch a startup or grow your business, just click or swipe the screen to watch this next video.